What the heck just happened? This house just sold at a Texas tax deed auction for 132,000 bucks, worth 290 grand. Could easily make $100,000 off this property that just sold. So today we're going to look at these Texas tax deeds and how it's possible to find property for 40 to 50% off market value that a new investor could make 50, 60, or in this case, up to $100,000 off of one house if you were to flip it. Question is, though, is where are they? How did they do it? So today we're going to walk you through super simple, very quick steps to find one of these and go take a swing for yourself. So if you're, say, 40 to 75 years old, maybe you got 100 or 50 to 100 grand set aside for investing in real estate, or heck, even if you have 10 to 50 grand, if you can get a property 40, 50% below market value and flip it, you can be making great money in the real estate game. The problem is most people don't know how these tax deeds work. So today we're just going to peel back the onion super quick and show you, because this just happened today. It's real live. This isn't a hypothetical thing. This property just sold at the auction here. So we want to show it to you. We're going to bring in the auction master himself, Mr. Josh Blanchard. How you doing today?
Hello, good afternoon. Good to be here. Howdy, howdy.
Excellent. And Josh, let's just take them from the simple start. Show them the property that sold here just a couple hours ago that easily has 100K profit potential in it, and how we can go find more of these. And we'll dive in.
All right, this is the internal website that Harris County uses each month. And so here is the URL. We'll look at seeing about just putting this in the link below. But every Tuesday of the first Tuesday of the month, this will be live, and it's going to show all of the properties that are going to the auction and also what the sales prices are. And so now it's gone. It's only usually up for about an hour or two post-auction, but I did grab it. So here are all of the results. And so we just built a little bit of a filter here and a formula just to show what price the property sold for. So this sold at 20% of ARV, which is pretty wild. And so we've got a lot of really good numbers in here. This one stood out. So this is 16307 Green Manor Drive in Humble, Texas. So we got an adjudged value of $289,000. The opening bid was 29 grand, and it sold for 132,000. So let's open it up a little bit and then just see what we're looking at here, because it might be a good deal. The property might be terrible. So we just want to go ahead and do a little bit of a deeper dive. And so here's a street view. And so just from the street view in October 2024, this is looking pretty good. The roof looks great. The windows look good. The brick looks good. Everything looks good. If we open it up in Zillow, we'll notice that it was built in 2019. So that's pretty fresh. 2019 is not that long ago, and we got a Zestimate of $296,000. So it's a 3-2, 1,700 square feet. A little bit about the history. So like this, the last time that it was sold was in 2007. And so we opened up the comps there on PropWire. If you followed our channel for a while, you'll know that we use PropWire a lot to try to figure out how much a property is worth. And so it's free to use PropWire. You can get a bit of a bird's eye view of the property, which is pretty great. So I just got it at $321,000, which is also, this is pretty reasonable as well. So it could be worth 290K plus. And so the fact that someone bought a property that was built in 2019 for 132 grand, that's worth somewhere between 290 plus, is pretty wild. And so what we're thinking is that the property condition is probably pretty decent, especially with it being built in 2019. And so it would not be unreasonable. Like it would be very probable for the homeowner who acquired this, or the tax deed investor who bought this today for 132, to sell it for like $232,000 and be able to make 100 grand on their 132K. It would be very reasonable to do that, especially when a fully remodeled property is going to sell for 290. And so having that 60K drop to move it quickly is very reasonable. And so it could be very probable as long as the property was in decent condition. So this is all we have to work off of. We didn't drive this property today in person. And so you would definitely want to do that for sure. But let's say we drive the property, it looks the exact same as we see in this photo here, which is quite reasonable considering it was built in 2019. They're sitting on a ton of equity. So that's about 45 cents on the dollar. And so on average, Harris County is somewhere between 30 to 60 cents on the dollar. And so you can see we got a few properties where people overbought, they overpaid. Here was one that is got a judge value of 32 grand, sold for 36. We got 38 on 39. So a few buyers who paid retail for tax deed properties, which is that's never a good decision. That's never wise. But you've also got a ton that sold way below market value. So the lowest that we've got here is 20 cents on the dollar. So a judge value is $228,000, and somebody won that for 47 grand. And one of the things you'll notice too is that next to this, you've got the precinct. And so there's actually 8 different precincts in Harris County, which means that there's 8 different auctions happening at the exact same time. And so if someone's brand new to this auction, they come in, they may not be able to manage all of these at the same time. And so this is actually great because it is a bit chaotic. But when you come in and you kind of understand the process, you're able to manage the room well, then you can actually come in and dominate and participate in most of these. But yeah, there's some really good numbers here. And I was just really surprised at the results today because these are super good prices.
Excellent.
Pretty much any online tax sale in Texas is going to be on realauction.com. And so whether you're in the state of Texas or you're elsewhere, you're out of the country, this is the best place to go to if you want to be able to buy property in Texas remotely. And so from Real Auction, we'll go clients, and then we'll stay on Real Foreclose. We're just going to put in a filter that only shows Texas. So go ahead, click that, and then I'm going to submit. So these are all of the tax foreclosure sales that are happening in the state of Texas on realauction.com. And so you've got 24 different counties. Now this isn't all of them, but this would definitely be the biggest platform that people use in Texas. There might be a few other counties that use alternative websites, but for the most part, it's going to be here. And so we do have Dallas. So Dallas was today. And if we click auction calendar, we can actually see the results that happened a bit earlier today. And so we've got a few different pages of data. So once that loads, we can actually see the judged value. So the amount that the county is taxing the property for, like what the assessed value is. And then we can also see the sales price. So when I went to current, it was kind of just lagging a little bit. Might be updating the information, but we can go back. Let's see, we've got February 3rd. So you've got a few different options here. So sometimes the property gets canceled prior to the sale. And so in that case, they did have to come up with $217,000, but they did come up with that money to stop it from going to foreclosure. And then you got, this one was pulled for no bids. So that would be called struck off. Now they actually own that, the county owns it. And so they may sell it at a later date for a discount, or they might allow you to make an offer privately. And then here we go, third party bidder. So this is just a regular sale. That means it's sold to an individual. And so sometimes the adjudged value is accurate. Sometimes it's really low. And so what we would typically do is take the account number or take the property address and just do a little bit of due diligence and see if there was any good deals there. So you can see this one struck off, so nobody bid on it. And then occasionally they'll just pull it to put it to sale at a later date. People paying in full is meaning they paid, they stopped it from going to sale. Here's another one that struck off. So oftentimes it's going to be struck off if it's underwater, meaning that there's no equity left in the deal. So this one has an opening bid of 40 grand and an adjudged value of 40 grand. So you can see how it's pretty tight, right? But each county is going to be different. And so one county, people might be really aggressive in their bidding, and another county, it might be way less competitive. And so if you take another county like Noises, which is right here, this is one of the places that I've seen the best deals. All right, I wonder if we can see today's results. Yeah, probably not yet because it happened today. So if we go back in time, I can actually see what happened. And I've seen some really good deals in Noises before. I've seen a lot of stuff that's like 10 cents on the dollar. So here's 9 grand on 67,000. This one was struck off, meaning nobody bid on it. So 9 grand, a judged value is 172,000, which is pretty wild. So we got like 15 grand on 57, 38 on 75, 8,900 on 72,000. So these are really juicy spreads. Now, it's not only about the numbers, though. We always pay attention to the exit strategy as well. Make sure that if we acquire something, that we're going to be able to sell it. Because if you buy something for $4,500 that the county assesses and says is worth 44, so we're around 10 cents on the dollar, right? This looks attractive on paper, but we got to make sure that there's an exit strategy here, that it's a usable piece of land, or that there's actually like a structure. If they're saying it's a structure, because they might be assessing it at, like for instance, this one, they might be assessing it for $212,000, but they might have actually demolished the house. And so it could really just be worth 30 grand or something like that. But on paper, this looks really good. 62 grand on 212. So this happens the first Tuesday of every month in Texas. And 2026, we've heard people before say that the space is too competitive, that there's no good deals. But this is Harris County, and Harris County has got it's a massive population, right? This is a pretty big, this is like the Mecca, one of the Meccas of tax deed investing. And we're seeing a whole bunch of stuff below 50 cents on the dollar, jumping down even to 20 cents on the dollar, which is pretty wild. So you definitely want to jump in and get involved because these are really good prices, really good numbers, well below market value.
Excellent. Thank you, Josh. This auction just happened. These properties are ready to go every single month. If you want some help doing this, we're going to do something here in the next 90 days. Maybe you got 10 to 30 grand set aside. We're going to build this week 10 free game plans. We call it a 90-day tax deed freedom blueprint. So it's super simple. What we do is we talk to you on the phone. We tell you exactly where to go based on your budget and where you want to invest. So it is a custom freedom blueprint that is specific to you. We used to sell these. We give them away for 10 people here today. So that's in the description below. You can schedule a call. And basically, it'll be 30 minutes. We'll map out exactly where you need to go, where you should invest, where the best opportunity zones are based on your budget. So it is a personalized game plan that we're giving away here today for 10 people. So you can schedule a call below and grab one of these. If you're ready to do a deal in 90 days, it is totally free if you're ready to get into some properties. So that is below in the description, and it's time to get started. You can check things out on our site, check out some of the videos, or schedule a call and just get a custom 90-day tax deed freedom blueprint where we will literally show you and tell you the exact counties to go to based on your budget and what you want to do in this business.